This is Arkansas Minuteman 0864. This is a disclaimer for YouTube and its latest stupidity dealing with firearms on their channel and their misconception that people are trying to sell firearms and accessories and other restricted items underneath U.S. federal code that do restrict certain items such as night vision, laser pointers and wall, that kind of stuff. At no time will I be selling any weapons or weapon accessories or any item that is restricted for export without a license under federal U.S. code on this channel. I'll repeat, at no time will I be selling any firearms or firearm accessories or anything else restricted under U.S. federal code for export without a license. Get this in your head, YouTube. Just because you see something that may be on the restricted list, that does not necessarily mean that a person is trying to sell it on their channel. So, with that being said, this disclaimer will now be put before each and every video that I put out. Thank you.
Hello everybody, Arkansas Minuteman 0864 here today. I've been noticing that everybody's talking about, oh, something's coming down the pike, something's gonna happen and all this. Well, you know what? It just might happen. There may be something coming down the pike. Because I'm pretty sure something is coming down the pike. But then I'd sit there and I'd like, now's the time to prepare. You need to stock up food. You need to stock up food. You need to stock up food. Water, blah, blah, blah. All this stuff. But the one thing nobody has mentioned, there's a limit to how much you stock up. Because once you get to a certain point, you're not stocking up, you're actually starting to hoard. And hoarding is not what you want to do. You want your stockpile to be where you can rotate it on a regular basis. And that way you use the oldest first, and then you replace that, and it's constantly rotating. So you always got a fresh, good stock on hand. And for the most part, anything beyond a year is going to be too much. Because beyond a year, you can't really go and rotate it on a good basis. So that's something that you need to look out for. And that's where a lot of people mess up at. They'll go to the store and they'll grab stuff off the shelf, they'll bring it home and they'll put it up in stockpile, and they never look at it again. They don't mess with it, nothing. Oh, I'm good. I'll be good if something happens. Well, everything's got an expiration date on it. And here's something else you need to keep an eye on. When you go to the store and you're buying canned goods and stuff, stop and look at the date of expiration on the can. Because when you're stockpiling up and you're getting prepped for an emergency, a natural disaster, or anything like that, then you need the freshest dates available. And it used to be, if you went to work in a grocery store, they would take you and you spent a week or two with an experienced employee there, and you learned how to do things. And one of the things they taught you was you always pull the oldest dates of canned goods and other items that have expiration dates to the front, and you put the newest in the back. Because you go and think about it, that's why the supermarket's done. They're preparing to supply you and therefore they're rotating that stock. But what a lot of people do is nowadays these kids, they don't care, they just throw it on the shelf. So the older people like myself, we're used to reaching in the bag to get the newest stuff, and that's where we're reaching on what we're really flying here. What we're really getting is the oldest stuff. So when you pull it up the shelf, make sure you check your expiration date or sell by date on the canned goods. And anything else that's got an expiration date on it. Another thing that you need to do this to are medical supplies. You need to check your medical supplies, especially when it comes down to like your antihistamines and cold medicines and stuff like that. Now, if you are able to, and you can get your hands hold of some antibiotics and stuff, then you also got to keep that in mind too. Make sure you rotate your medical stuff, because the last thing you need is to need something and look at it and expired, and it ain't no good. Now, they do put expiration dates on like Band-Aids, gauze, and stuff like that. I never understood why. Makes no sense to me. And when it comes to things like that, I've never had a problem with it. They were still good as long as the seals were not broke on the packaging. You have to make sure the seals are broke. If you've got an item that the seal's been broke on it, you might as well just toss it right then and there, because it's no longer sturdy. So, with that being said, and I fight a fly in my truck right now, when you go, check your stockpiles of food, water. Make sure your water's treated so it'll stay drinkable for a long term. If you're stockpiling fuel, make sure you add the stabilizer in it so it stays stable for a long time. But on your fuel and stuff, you need to rotate that also. And it wouldn't hurt to rotate your water also. That way you're always constantly putting in fresh water in there. So keep that in mind and rotate your stocks. And remember, those who prepare survive. So keep patrolling, stay alive, pay attention to detail.